بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا في إخواني في الله. Alhamdulillah, we finished basic training. Y'all can take off your fatigues and get you some nice uniforms now, inshallah. Yesterday we took the importance of looking at Arabic from the aspect of a sentence. And we mentioned that الكلمات القرآنية والألفاظ النبوية, the words of the Quran. Assalamu alaikum, Abdul Hakim. Kayf halak? Alhamdulillah. We mentioned that the words of the Quran and the statements that is in the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah, that's everything that you have taken, even though you haven't taken the different scales of you're taking the verb, the Mali, and the Mudari, and the Amr. And you know that to the Mali and the Mudari and the Amr, there's more to it. There's Mabni al-Ma'lum and there's Mabni al-Majhul. And you know there's more to it than that. There's Lazim and there's Muta'addi. These are the basics that you have to know about a fi'l. Like if you don't know that, you're not going to go too far. You have to know that. And this is very important that you take things step by step. And that's what the ulama, they call Rabbaniyun. يعلموا صغار العلم قبل الكبار. The Rabbaniyun, they teach the smaller level of ilm, of knowledge before the bigger level of knowledge. And they do it step by step by step. And the ones that are the best in like teaching something in its correct manner, in its way, are the ulama. So what do we want to understand from that? That seeking ilm is finishing book by book by book by book. Not you jumping around the corner here, jumping in that book, jumping over here. Just do the whole book. Finish the book. Like do Ajurumiyah, do Mutamima Ajurumiyah, do Qatarna Nada. That's enough in Nahu. If you want to do Alfiya ibn Malik, do that. And then in Sarf, you want to do this book and do that book and do that. In Aqidah, you want to do this book and that book and that book and that book and that. In fiqh, that's why you want to. They know how to raise the student up. They know how. They're ulama. They know how to do it. That's why they wrote the book. So you might find a scholar may have usul al-thalatha. He could have made it usul al-thalatha ta'ashar. He could have made it 13 principles. He made it 3. It's qawaid al-arba. He could have made it qawaid al-arba'in. You can find 40 principles in Islam. He made it arba. Because he knows how. It's a literally sahih. You can finish it in a week. You could do it in 4 days. You could do a qaida every day. It's 4 principles. If you did like 5, 7 days, good. You have usul al-sitta. And if these other, you have arba'in and nawawiyah. Arba'in, I did like he couldn't make it 100 and arba'in. He could make it 140. He couldn't make it 400. He could have made it 400. But they know how to bring the student up. So Umdatul Ahkam, it has 2 angles that is easy. First is only Sahihain. It's only Bukhari and Muslim. Then it's only 500 hadiths. It's like it's the beginning and fiqh that you can take. It's only what's authentic, and it's just 500 hadiths. It's not going to cover everything. It's just going to cover the basics that you need. And this is how we have to think. It's not that is deep. Man. It goes deep. Man. Like say, some people when they go to teach a book, they go, this sheikh is strong. Whether the sheikh is strong or not, look at the students in front of you, give them what they need. That's not the issue. And the sheikh strong, what the sheikh got to do with these students here? Look at the students that are in front of you and give them appropriately. So it's like a doctor that he has a sick patient. He has patience. He doesn't look at the men and go, man, that medicine is good up there. I want to use that one day. No, look at what you have here from the people, and they give them according to their sicknesses. You're not going to look at the medicine cabinet and say, yeah, that medicine, I heard that thing is very good. Yeah, but it's not suitable. Man. Are you with us online, brothers and sisters online? And I'm telling you all today, you are studying today, but tomorrow you are teaching. So they used to say something when I was studying. Because some teachers, some teachers, they don't teach well. So while they're teaching, they would say, it'll be a simple class like Salah. Simple class like Salah. It's first class. in this issue is ikhtilaf. The Maliki says this, and the Ibn says that, and Ibn Hanifa says that. If you want to find for more issue, look at Sheikh al-Islam's book, volume number 7, page number 411. Like, yeah, just give them, don't run them over there. So some people were actually going to volume number 11, and he sent them over to volume number 7, and they're going through all these other books, and they lost the original situation. They just came to learn the Salah. So they would say, how about this? هذه فوائد تشد لها الرحال في غير موضعها. These are for why it's worth traveling far from at the wrong time. That's it. These are some good benefits that you're breaking down. That's some good knowledge. It's worth traveling for Mecca for that, but it's at the wrong time. Yes, it's deep. Yes, that's mashallah. That's magnificent. It's not the time for it. So it doesn't matter how deep it is. So now, if we understand that, we want to understand that in Arabic, there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words. And the words are like what? They're like an ocean. So with all these words, have you ever experienced and seen a sentence that you know every word in the sentence and you still can't figure out who's on first and what's on second? You don't understand what's going on, right? Because now you have to start looking at the components of a sentence. So the thing that's going to get you across this ocean is called a sentence. A sentence is like a ship. The words is just like an ocean. A sentence is a ship that gets you across all these words. The ones that's riding on the ships is the meaning of these words. They ride on the ship and it brings you to the shore. Where's the shore? The hearts of the people. That this meaning that you said, it got to their hearts. They got to their mind. You got these words together, you put it on the ship, and you're sending your ships out. You're sending your ships out. You're sending them out. And if not, then you will drown in the ocean of words. So I really disagree with the people who teach Arabic by just giving the student 100 words. Now, instead of telling him ذهب means to go, what he says, أنا ذهب وأنت ذهب ونحن ذهب, everyone ذهب. Now he has to learn conjugation. So then he learns أنا ذهبت وأنت ذهبت وأنت ذهبتي. He can say أنا أكلت وأنت أكلت وأنت أكلتي. And he can say جلست وجلست. He can use that on everything that comes. So he has to learn that. Tayyib. So it shows that we have to learn sentences, and there are two kinds of sentences in Arabic, just two kinds. الجملة الفعلية والجملة الاسمية. Yesterday we started with الجملة الفعلية. فما هو يا إخواني? What is الجملة الفعلية? الذي بدأ بالفعل. A sentence that starts with a verb. طيب. الجملة الفعلية تتكون من أمور. It consists of things. What are you looking for if it's a جملة فعلية? What does it entail? فعل, فاعل, مفعول به. That's it. That's the sentence. Type. What if the فعل is لازم? What if the فعل لازم? What does it need? فعل فاعل. It's not going to be any مفعول به in it? No مفعول به. It's not going to be any مفعول به in it. And what if the فعل is متعدي? Then these are فعل, فاعل, and مفعول به. Now, there are some other things that get attached to the sentence. Inshallah, we'll get into it today or tomorrow. It's called شبه الجملة. And they make it a little bit more complete. They make the sentence a little bit more complete. So now when we come to a sentence and it starts with a verb, we're going to get later on when it starts with a noun. But when it starts with a verb, your radar is up, your Wi-Fi is on, your antenna is up. If it starts with a fi'l, you just think, where's the file? There's nothing else on your mind. Okay? But we know that the file has to come after fi'l. But it doesn't have to be directly after. It could be down the line somewhere. But we have some signs that tell us what's the file. There's some indicators, right? We took that yesterday. The maf'ul bi is the one that the fi'l fell upon him. The fa'il is the one that did the fi'l. And the maf'ulun bi is the one that the fi'l fell upon. Just for practice sake, we have to read. So, barakallahu fikum, let's read. We're on page number 107. I want everybody to do 3 sentences. We have to keep reading. We have to keep reading. So now, don't get caught up on what? Understanding. Now, understanding is juicy now. But you have to keep reading. Listen, understanding is juicy now. It's right here, right in front of you. But hey, how can you read it without stuttering? Can you read it smoothly? Don't be satisfied with understanding. Your reading and your diction and your fluency has to be up to par. Has to be up to par. Same thing with your writing. Like if you look at some people's handwriting, it might be atrocious. You have to study, you have to practice. طيب عندك يا عبد الصبور 3 sentences.
نام الطفل ثم نمت. انصرمت سيارة.
Okay, again.
انصرمت سيارة.
Your dal is not like a dal. So like Sarah. You say Sarah and said that and saw that. نعم.
انصرمت سيارة.
نعم.
طلعت الشمس.
شمس. نعم.
طلعت الشمس.
طيب عندك يا عيسى.
سافر رجلان قومي يا فاطمة. تعب المسافرون من طول السفر.
نعم. طيب عندك يا داوود, and go straight to the next exercise.
تزاورت المسلمات.
What does that mean?
Muslim women met each other, visited each other.
Right. So what's the fi'l madi of this on the fa'ala scale? What's the fi'l madi? Zara. So Zara, it means that one person visited another. Okay, there's a scale that's called tafa'ala. Because tafa'ala mean they did it together. Allah says, ta'awanu 'alal birri wa taqwa. Mean you help him and he helps him. Right. Taqatala means that they're fighting one another. It's not just one side hitting the other side. And everything that's on that scale. Tazawara, meaning they visit one another. So that aleph there, what does the aleph convey? Musharaka, that they're sharing the fi'l. So listen to this. This one, we'll get into that later. Continue, Dawood.
يكتب المدرس أسماء الطلاب كل يوم.
Did we read this? Qumi Fatima? Read that? No.
Yes.
Okay. Qumi Fatima? Read that?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Now, Yaktubu, read that again.
يكتب المدرس أسماء الطلاب كل يوم.
Now, so now you all see the importance of making the dhamma clear and the fatha clear. Because the dhamma is going to show that it's the fa'il. And the fatha is going to show clear that it's the maf'ul bi. And that's what you want. You want to be clear. So look at the components in this sentence. We have yaktubu fi'l, al-mudarrisu fa'il, asma' at-tullab maf'ul bi, and it's mudaf ilayh. You with me? Asma' at-tullab is maf'ul bi, is mudaf, and the tullab is mudaf ilayh. When did we take mudaf ilayh? In what book? Did we take it before we even got into the verbs? Like the verbs started on chapter number 10. Did we take it before we got into the? But these are the basics that you have to know. Could you imagine if somebody's like here and he doesn't know mudaf ilayh? Like those are the fundamental things before verbs. Did we have sentences at that time before we had any verbs? Did we have complete sentences from day one? Right. Are you with us online? Are y'all with us online? So now we're coming to understand what is Arabic more and more. Tayyib, continue.
تأكل فاطمة طعامها في الغرفة.
Now, fil ghurfa is jar and majroor. It's extra. It's a complete sentence to say ta'kulu Fatima ta'ama. Complete sentence. Now we want to add to it. We want to say ba'd al-asr. You can say ba'd al-asr. You can say fil ghurfa. You can say ma'a akhiha. You can say a lot of things after that. But it's extra. It's not fair. It's not fa'il. And it's not maf'ulun bih. So we want to get that out of the way first. Then we're going to look at that. Tayyib, y'all with us online, brothers and sisters online. Is everything clear? These are the basic components of a sentence. And now it's good to get a rich vocabulary. And Harun.
تغسل الطلاب ملابسهم يوم الخميس.
Again?
تغسل.
Why would it be a tagsil?
Huh?
You're saying tagsil.
Oh, I'm sorry. يغسل الطلاب ملابسهم يوم الخميس.
No. Continue.
يتناول المريض الدواء في الصباح.
Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth.
يتناول المريض الدواء في الصباح.
That's good, but I'm shadid. I'm not going to let you make 3 stops.
Okay.
There's a green light. There's no stop sign there. You can't stop. There's no waiting. No, can't stop. Everybody doing 70 miles per hour and you stopping. يتناول المريض الدواء. Then like a brave man, he says في الصباح. Like wow, في الصباح. You put that together. No, you say في الصباح. Okay, if you want to stop, everywhere. Say في الصباح. يتناول المريض. Like this is coming to somebody's head. يتناول المريض الدواء. So you're not gonna say يتناول المريض الدواء. Nah, you can't put those together. المريض الدواء. لا. يتناول المريض الدواء. But I'm just bringing difficult. If it's difficult on your tongue, you say يتناول المريض الدواء في الصباح. And like your teacher's just critical. That's it. Especially when Harun comes. So I have to continue.
يصلي المسلمون صلواتهم كل يوم وليلة.
Now, so if it's a sword, say salawat. Especially when you're doing the Quran. Don't say salawat. Like it's between a sword and a scene. Now, then when you say Muslimun, it's like you just read a scene. Right? So you want to make it clear. يصلي المسلمون صلواتهم. You want to make that clear. That's a sword. So don't speak like you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean. You know the sword that I'm reading. You know that sort of to come. You know what I'm trying to say. No. Read it clearly. As if they're hearing it for the first time. Again.
يصلي المسلمون صلواتهم كل يوم وليلة.
طيب continue. عندك يا غالب.
زورنا أولاد أقتل البارحة.
Again.
زورنا أولاد أقتل زورنا أولاد أقتل البارحة.
طيب look at this here. زرنا أولاد أخت البارحة. If we connected that, أخت البارحة, and the one is listening, he's not going to know there's a ya mutakallim there. Are you with me, ya ghalib? The listener is not going to know that there's a ya mutakallim there, the listener. So if you're going to connect it, what you're going to do, you're going to put a fatha on it, like you say, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Rabbi is Rabbi, but you put a fatha there, Rabbiyal. You would say Subhana Rabbil A'la. Like it's just Rabbil A'la. When you say Rabbiyal A'la, you're saying Rabbi Al-A'la. You're making it clear that there's a ya mutakallim there. Are you with me? Yeah, at the sabur. That's Lugha al-Arabiya. So in this sense, it's permissible to say it like that. Are you with us online? But you would say, Zorna awlad ukhti al-bariha. Yeah, but it's better just to separate it. Separate, because bariha had nothing to do. That's like extra. That's last night. That's mudah ilay. Zorna awlad ukhti. That's better. Zorna awlad ukhti al-bariha. But when you make a fatwa on there, then you made it clear that that's Yam Kalam. Are you all with us online? And sisters online, are you all there? These are the little benefits that we pick up. Brothers and sisters online, dang. I don't know what happened. Wi-Fi went down. Tayyip, read that again.
زرنا أولاد أختي البارحة.
That's better.
اشتراه أحمد.
Ishtarahu Ahmed. That's the maf'ul bi, the damir. Continue.
سبقتكم.
Sabaqtukum. Naam. طيب عندك يا معاذ.
قال علي
Not
رضي
Aliyun. Like, where are you going to put the nabra? Aliyun.
قال علي
Aliyun.
علي
Aliyun.
علي
It's Aliyun. Aliyun.
Aliyun.
Aliyun.
علي
Aliyun. It's a tanween. Aliyun.
قال
There's no
علي
tanween on it? Abdul Sabah.
قال علي رضي الله عنه قد ردكم من
Qada.
قد oh my bad قد رد قد ضركم من غيركم من غركم.
I have a big question. I was so involved in explaining this yesterday. I didn't ask sure where's the file, where's the maf'ul and B. It wasn't enough to ask on one file because we have two verbs. I was only suitable to ask for the other file because we have two verbs. It's on you, Mu'adh. قد ضركم من غركم. What does it mean first? قد ضركم من غركم.
You were hurt by the one who deceived you.
Right. Na'am. Like qad is like past tense, it's happened. Okay, where's the file? We have two verbs. Every verb needs a file. Every verb needs a file. Type darrakum. Where's the file? Man. That's right. Man is the file. Kum is the maf'ul bi. Darrakum Ahmadu. Darrakum man gharrakum. Man is the file. Gharrakum, where's the file? It's the verb. Man, the file cannot come in front of the verb. The pronoun huwa. The pronoun gharra means he deceived. Gharra means he deceived is the pronoun. The first one is man. The second one is the mere mustatir. Meaning it's not seen. Mustatir from sitr. From this we're going to continue. Now go read the one right in front of it. Don't go back to the type. Just go back up to number 7 and number 8 and number 7.
سبقتكم.
Again.
سبقتكم.
Sabaqtukum.
سبقتكم.
What does that mean? Sabaqtukum. What does sabaqa mean? To proceed, to come first. Sabaqtukum. Where's the file? 2. And then so listen up. We know how to conjugate the verb with the damir muttasil. Huwa dhahaba, hiya dhahabat, ana dhahabtu, anta dhahabta. Now that's all the fa'il. All of that is the fa'il. So you don't have to think far. If you write dhahabtu, hiya dhahabat, ana dhahabtu, hiya, and anything like that, dhahabana is the fa'il. It's the fa'il. Na'am. And then what you add to that, ضربته, ضربتها, رأيتهم, رأيتها, رأيتك, كلمته. That's two pronouns getting attached to it. The other pronouns are maf'ulun bih. Are you with us online, brothers and sisters online? You with us?
Why does that need a file?
Every verb needs a file. Who did it? Who did it? Who did the action? A file means the one who did the action. Who did it? Is it a woman? What's your proof? It's not a woman. Because it would have been garratkum. Is it a group of people? What's the proof? It would have been garrukum. Who did it? How are we going to understand? Somebody said this. Somebody wrote this. How are we going to understand it? The way we want to understand it? She harmed you and she fooled you. No, you can't put it the way that you want it. You have to extract the file from it. You have to. Nah.
So if this one by itself could be a sentence.
Nah, that's a complete sentence. Because why? What is a sentence? Fi'l, fa'il, maf'ulun bih. And that's what we want to understand. No matter how long it is or how little it is. Nah. For matter is a sentence. What does matter mean? Matter. He died. That's it. That's it. Complete sentence. Nama. Complete sentence. Namat. Complete sentence. She slept. Take the one before that. Number 7.
اشتراه أحمد.
Again.
اشتراه أحمد.
Ishtarahu Ahmed. Ahmed bought it. So listen to this. You cannot say Ishtara Ahmedu hu. No, can't do that. If there's going to be if the maf'ulun bih is going to be a pronoun, it has to be attached to the verb. Especially if the noun is an ism zahir. So I can say Ishtarahu Ahmed. But if I want a pronoun for the file, I'll say Ishtaraytuhu. Now, if the pronoun is a file, Ishtaraytuhu. ولكن Ishtarahu Ahmed. Ishtarathu Fatima. Ishtarahu al-ikhwa. Now, tie it with that. Let's continue. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ونحن في الصفحة الثامنة بعد 100 أو 100 والثامنة. هكذا يقال. الثامنة بعد 100. وفي الصفحة 100 والثمانية. أحتاج أراجع هذا. We're going to say الثامنة بعد 100. نعم. Listen up to this closely. I want you to look at the page while it's right there in front of you. Look at the number. Okay. Look at the number. If I said we're on page 100 والثمانية, and you're writing. I said, Imam Ahmed says on page 100 والثمانية. You're going to write down 100, then write الثمانية. But when you're writing in Arabic, you're writing from right to left. You're writing left to right. But the numbers in Arabic, they go from left to right. When you're writing, you'll walk with me. You'll walk with me. Imam Ahmed Qala. You're on the right side of your paper, and you're writing to the left side, right? So when I say it's on page 108, you have to go down to 100, but you have to come back that way and write 100 and 0, then 8. If I say 108. So it's better for the teacher to say, Qali Imam Ahmed put the page, Athaminiya ba'da mi'ah. So he can write the 8 and just keep writing the 100. Yeah, Abdul Sabah, are you with me? It's better for the teacher to say, fi mi'ah sitta wa khamseen ba'da mi'ah. Instead of saying, mi'atain, how would I write khamsa with sitteen? I will have to write khamsa with sitteen. What does khamsa with sitteen mean? 65. But I have to write the 5 first, then the 6 in the middle. Hold on now, you with me, Dawood? No, listen to this. If I said mi'ah wa khamseen, 150. Right? Now if I said mi'ah wahid wa khamseen, mi'ah wahid wa khamseen, 151. I will have to write mi'ah on the left-hand side, Wahid will come seen. I'll have to write the 1 and then put the 5 in the middle. Again, I'm writing Qala Imam Ahmed. I'm on the right side of the page. And I'm writing Qala Imam Ahmed. Fi Safa on page Mia. I gotta go down and leave space. Mia. Wahid will come seen. Then I gotta get there. I gotta write the 1 on this side, and then I gotta put the khamsa in the middle. You with me? You with me, Ghalib? So now if I'm the teacher, I'm going to say Qala Imam Ahmed fi khamsa wahid wa khamsin ba'da mi'ah, and the student's gone. The student's gone. Now, are y'all with us online? Boy, I remember when I was new, and the teacher was like, "Come to me." I was just like, I was like, "Come to Alpha." I was like, page 5,000. Now, are you with us online? And that's the best way to say it. If the student is writing, so he can just keep on writing from left to right, because the numbers are written from left to right. You know, the number's not written from right to left. So you want to read it like that. Tayyib, let's go. Barakallahu feekum. Barakallahu feekum. قال حفظه الله تعالى كيف تعلم الفاعل. But this is not nahu. But this is just like to broaden your mind. We're not doing nahu yet. Let's read. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You all are translating. كل فاعل يحتاج إلى فعل يسبقه. What does that mean? كل فاعل يحتاج إلى فعل يسبقه. Needs a verb that precedes it. يسبقه, that precedes it. Every fa'il, it needs a verb, and the verb has to be in front of it. وهو من خصائص الجملة الفعلية. أي الفاعل من خصائص الجملة الفعلية. What does that mean? Right, the fa'il is from the characteristics of a jumla fi'liya. If the jumla ismiya, like Muhammadun Musafirun, no fa'il. No. A fa'il, that word fa'il, the word fa'il has come from a jumla fi'liya. Come on now. Nah. Just the topic is some of the specifications. Khasa'is means khas, specific. It's from the specifications of a fi'il, of a verb that starts with a fi'il. Brothers and sisters online, you are with us. If you hear that word fa'il, that means the sentence started with a fi'il. That's what that means. So the fa'il needs a fi'il, and the fi'il has to come in front of it. It's first thing. قال فإذا رأيت الفعل اسأل نفسك ما الذي أو من الذي فعله. What does that mean? فإذا رأيت الفعل اسأل نفسك. If you see a fi'l, ask yourself. If you see a verb, ask yourself ما الذي أو من الذي فعله. What did this or who did this? That's all. Listen, we're not talking about as a dhamma or a wow or aleph. That's nahu. We're just looking at the meaning of a fa'il. Who did it or what did it? We're just looking at the meaning. When you study nahu, you're going to look at the sign of it. Does it have a dhamma? Does it have an aleph? Does it have a wow? Does it have a noon? We're not looking at that now. We're just looking at the meaning. Are you with us online? We understand everything that was written above. كل فاعل يحتاج إلى فعل يسبقه. It needs that part يسبقه. Every fa'il, it needs a verb in front of it. والفاعل هو من خصائص الجملة الفعلية. The fa'il is from the specifications of a jumla, a sentence that starts with a verb. فإذا رأيت الفعل, if you see a fi'l, you have to say to yourself, hold on. You see a sentence and it starts with a verb, bang. Where's the fire? That's the only thing in my head. That's the thing in my head. But what does it mean to fire? It means what did it or who did it. That's what it means. طيب. أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Answer the following questions. Read this sentence. What does it mean? طبقت قولة الطعام للصبيان. We're not going to translate it. طبقت قولة الطعام للصبيان. من الذي طبخ? Who cooked الطعام؟ قولة أو الصبيان؟ قولة. What is قولة? الفاعل. That's what it is. We're not talking about dhamma. We're not talking about ya. That's another thing. We just want the meaning. من طبخ? من الذي طبخ؟ قولة. She's the fa'il. Are you with us online? Are you all with us online? Y'all are cruising now. Y'all are cruising. Like you don't scratch your head no more. You don't bump your knees. You like eating the bread. You don't have to ajin and ajin. Now you can eat the bread. Y'all with me? No more scraping your elbows. Nah, like you got your uniform on now. Took them fatigues off. Untie your boots. Remember before we had to tie your boots up? Untie your boots. Nah. Tie it. Number 2. بنى المهندس جسرا طويلا. What does the first sentence? What does it mean? طبقت قولة الطعام للصبيان. What does قولة mean? It's a woman's name. But هي صحابية قولة بنت حكيم. قولة. قولة cooked the food. ما معنى الصبيان؟ No. طيب. Hold on. Right. Brother online said for the children. How do we? Okay, Ismail. If it's Sibyan, if this word, what is the singular? What's one child? What's one child? Sabiyun. For if it was 2 boys, it would be Sabiyani, not Sibyani. This is Jemi. It would be Sabiyani. Sabiyani, that would be 2 boys. But this is Sibyani. That's plural. Na'am. This is not muthanna. This is plural. Ayab. The next one. بنى المهندس جسرا طويلا. How long do you understand the difference between Sabiyani or Sibyani? Sibyan is plural for children. Sabiyani, that's the muthanna, the 2 boys. Sabiyun is a baby. Sabiyani, that's 2. I'm a Sibyani. No. طيب. بنى المهندس جسرا طويلا. What does that mean? جسرا is a bridge. جسر is a bridge. من الذي بنى طويلا جسرا؟ المهندس. Are you with us online? من الذي بنى? Who did the verb? That's what the question is. Who did the verb? طويلا did the verb? Could that be the fire? جسرا? No. المهندس. Next one. قرب بيتنا من المستشفى. قرب بيتنا من المستشفى. ما الذي قرب? What is it that is close? قرب means to be close. قرب بيتنا من المستشفى. من الذي قرب؟ هل هو بيتنا؟ هل هو المستشفى؟ هل هو من بيتنا? But somebody might read it and be like, the mustashfa got closer to their house. Like, no, it doesn't mean that. So this is quick. We're cruising. This is all easy. غربت الشمس بعد وصولنا إلى المسجد. What does this mean? غربت الشمس بعد وصولنا إلى المسجد. after our arrival to the masjid. وصول. طيب من الذي غرب؟ ما الذي غرب? What is the thing that غرب that set? هو مسجد الشمس أو بعد? Okay, listen to this. I want you to look at this sentence. The sentence غرب, is it لازم أو متعدي؟ غربت. لازم. So what does it need? That's it. غربت الشمس. Is that a complete sentence? But look, we have two شبه جملة. بعد وصولنا, that has to do with time. إلى المسجد has to do جار مجرور. One is a ظرف زمان, has to do with time. بعد وصولنا. The other one إلى المسجد جار مجرور. نعم. Do we understand that? We have two شبه جملة here. One is بعد وصولنا. Can we say غربت الشمس بعد وصولنا? No. So look, إلى المسجد is not connected to غربت الشمس. What if we said غربت الشمس إلى المسجid? Like what? Doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. Because إلى المسجد is connected to بعد وصولنا. Let's continue. قرأ التلاميذ كتبا عديدة في درسهم. What does that mean? Numerous books in their class. من قرأ درسهم كتبا التلاميذ. So this is a very easy lesson, right? It's a very simple, but I just want you to think of who the fire. That's all this lesson was. It's nothing to review. It's nothing to go back and write. Let's go to the next one. It says كيف تعلم المفعول به. كيف تعلم المفعول به. Let's read. Are you with us online? Are we going too fast? Give me some feedback. How we doing? Okay. الفعل المتعدي يحتاج إلى مفعول به. الفعل المتعدي يحتاج إلى مفعول به. That's everything's clear, right? We know what متعدي is and all that. والمفعول به هو الاسم الذي وقع عليه الفعل. المفعول به is the noun that the fi'l fell on him. He didn't do anything. It fell on him. It occurred to him. It happened to him. نعم. فإذا رأيت الفعل المتعدي اسأل نفسك على من وقع الفعل. على ماذا وقع الفعل؟ على ماذا وقع الفعل؟ If you see الفعل متعدي, ask yourself, upon what does this fi'l fall on? Let's read these sentences. This is very easy. It's just an eye opener. It's not a big fight. It's just an eye opener so we can move smoothly. شرب يوسف العصير. ماذا شرب يوسف? Now we're not talking about Yusuf. ماذا شرب? What did he drink? We're not talking about who drank it. ماذا شرب? That's how you know who the maf'ul bi is. نعم. لبس عادل قميصا. ماذا لبس عادل قميصا? How are we doing online? How are we doing online? How are we doing online? We don't have any excuse here in America that Arabic is not spreading because it's easy. It's not excuse. Gotta do the do. Gotta do the do. رفع الطلاب أيديهم. ماذا رفع الطلاب? That's مفعول به. That's the مفعول به. That's the مفعول به. رمينا الكرة. We threw the ball. ماذا رمينا? What did we throw? الكرة. فتحوا الأبواب. ماذا فتحوا؟ الأبواب. Are we going too fast? Are we doing online? Okay, look at this one here, number 6. ضربت زيدا Man duriba. Man duriba. As mabin al-majhul. Man duriba. What you gonna say? Zaid. Zaidun. Naam. Man duriba. Zaid. Who was hit? Who was hit? Zaid didn't do anything. Darabtu Zaidan mean ana darabtu Zaidan. Naam. Man duriba. Who was hit? Zaidun. Nasahnahum. Nasahnahum. Man nusiha. What does that mean? Man nusiha. Who was advised? Hum. So the hum is the maf'ul bi. Hum is the maf'ul bi. Nasahnahum. نصحناهم أسسنا مركز أسسنا مركزا ماذا أسسنا what does أسس mean أسس that's a thing but not as a verb أسسنا مركزا to establish so that's how it's called the foundation because you're establishing it you know to establish a markaz to establish أسسنا مركزا ماذا أسسنا what did we establish طيب all that is simple we're cruising we're on cruise control طيب look at this section here we're cruising listen everything that we're going to read here you know this we're just going to read and go okay الفاعل المضمر so this time I didn't use the word ضمير because now you know because I told you before I told you they're going to blame me for saying the mir, but just for your sake. Now, al-fa'il al-mudmar, what does this mean? Al-fa'il al-mudmar, what does that mean? Al-fa'il al-mudmar, right? The pronoun that's a fa'il, or the fa'il that's a pronoun. It's not an open noun like Ahmed or Yusuf or Al-Bayt. Hi, brothers and sisters online, are you with us? What is the topic here? We're on a new topic. Al-fa'il al-mudmar. Admara shay'an means to hide it. But this is what they say about a kafir. A kafir yuzhir al-Islam wa yudmir al-kufr. He makes his Islam apparent, but inside he hides his disbelief. That's bad akhlaq. Disbelief. He doesn't like Islam. He hates Allah and his messenger. Hides that. Munafiq. No, that's a kafir. Munafiq. No. Yudmir is to hide something. So the damir is hidden. We don't know. It's hidden. Okay. طيب. الفاعل قد يكون ضميرا بارزا أو مستترا. The fa'il, it could be a pronoun. Barizan, ظاهرا, open, you see it. Huwa, here. Or mustatiran is hidden. There's no shape or size to it. There's no shape or size to it. Let's read. We're reading. We're cruising. Because you understand everything here. Well, first of all, listen. You have pronouns in two categories. Bariz, you see it. Mustatiran, you don't see it, but is a pronoun there. Okay? أنا هل شربت الشاي؟ هذا اقرأ وافهم. Read and understand. What are we trying to read and understand? That the fa'il could be a pronoun. And that pronoun is on two categories. The fa'il could be a pronoun. And it could be a pronoun that you see. Or it's a pronoun that's mastur, is covered. Mustatir. اقرأ وافهم. هل شربت الشاي? What does that mean? Where's the file? It's red. The ta is a pronoun. رأوا الهلال الليلة في مصر. What does that mean? رأوا الهلال الليلة في مصر. But they saw the new moon tonight in Egypt. Where's the file? Wow. They saw. They saw. اشتريت خبزا. What does that mean? اشتريت خبزا. Where's the file? We already studied this. Everything's clear. But we want to recognize the fa'il could be like this. The fa'il could be like that. The fa'il is like this. What is the fa'il? That's it. That's it. We're not doing any rules. How you make the i'rab? We're not doing it. Zurna asdiqa'ana. What does that mean? Where's the fa'il? Nah. Easy, right? Cruising, right? No needing, no dough, none of that. Okay. هل حفظتي سورة البقرة? Did you memorize سورة البقرة? Where's the fa'il? طيب. جهزنا طعام الوليمة. What does that mean? جهزنا طعام الوليمة. They prepared the food of the walima. Where's the fa'il? طيب. ضرب ولده. ضرب ولده. Where's the fa'il? ضمير مستتر. هو أكلت طعامها. It's ضمير مستتر. That ta is just to show that it's ta'nith. مات. Is that a complete sentence? مات. That's a complete sentence. Where's the fa'il? That means mustatir, it means huwa. So that's the fa'il. Let's keep going. Maf'ul al-mudmar. What does that mean, a maf'ul al-mudmar? The maf'ul al-mudmar could be a pronoun also, right? Maf'ul bi qad yakun damirun barizan. It's all right. Listen, the maf'ul bi could be the damir barizan, but it can't be mudmar. We're going to know if it was who. I mean, it can't be mustatir. That's my point. It can't be mustatir, but it could be a pronoun. Bad. Let's read. Darabaka aliyun. Who hit you? Ali. But the pronoun is that calf. So if the pronoun is a maf'ul bi, it's going to be attached to the verb. So it's going to help you in your speaking. If the maf'ul bi is a pronoun, it has to be attached. Except, and we're going to see at the end is the exceptions to the rule. Da'ani al-mudarrisu. What does that mean? The teacher called me. Da'ani al-mudarrisu. Where's the maf'ul bi? That ya. What do you call that noon? It's noon lil wiqaya. So that the verb doesn't get a kasra. So the kasra is on the noon. It's not on the verb. The verb is da'a, and it's protected. Da'ani al-mudarris. The ya is the maf'ul bi. It has to be attached. If the maf'ul bi is a pronoun, it has to be attached to the verb. The fa'il is going to come after it. Listen, the fa'il is going to come after it if it's an ism zahir. But if it's a pronoun, I would say da'autuka. I will come with the fa'il and the if it's a pronoun, I'm going to quote the fa'il. Da'auni. What does that mean? Da'auni. They called me, but now the fa'il is attached. Da'auni. Da'ani. What does that mean? Da'ani. Da'ani. He called me. But now it's the ism, it's going to come. Da'ani Ahmed. Da'ani al-Mustafa. Da'atka ummuk. Da'atka ummuk. I have this continue. Akramana ash-shaykhu. What does that mean? I want you to look at something very close there. Look at this sentence. Akramana ash-shaykhu. It has a fatha on the meme. Akramana ash-shaykhu. What if I said akramna ash-shaykha? Akramna ash-shaykha. We honored the sheikh. If I made it a sukoon, it's akramna, then now it's a fa'il now. Akramna means nahnu akramna is a fa'il now. But akramana, it's a maf'ul bi. You have to be careful when you're reading. It doesn't have a fatha to the dhamma. I have to find out where's the fa'il. You understand what I'm saying, Dawood? Yeah, Harun. There's a difference between akramana wa akramna. You say ana akramtu. Nahnu akramna. If it's akramna, that's fa'il. But if it's akramana, it's maf'ulun bi. So what if you're reading something that doesn't have fatha kesra lam? You're going to look after it. Is it shaykhu? Is it shaykha? And everything is going to be clear. Do you understand that online? Do you understand that online? You have to be careful. Na'am. Akhbaratu ummuhu. What does that mean? Akhbaratu ummuhu. His father told him. That's the pronoun. If the pronoun is a maf'ul and it has to be attached. Did you know this before? Now it's just more information. You already know the maf'ul and be. But now it's going to help you with your speaking. Alatu, automatically. It's going to help you with your speaking. You don't got to be attached. Nah. Razaqahumullah. Razaqahumullah. Lafzul jalal, the name of Allah is the fa'il. Hum is the maf'ul and bi. What does this mean? Ma ajabaha ahadun. Ma ajabaha ahadun. Ma ajabaha ahadun. It's Ahmadu. Ahadun. No one answered her. No one responded to her. No one answered her. I thought I was going to get y'all on that. Put it in there. It's one of my potholes. Still have them in the book. Ma ajabaha ahadun. Nobody answered her. What if I said this? Ma ajabaha wahidun. What if I said ahadun? I said wahidun. Ma ajabaha wahid. I mean, one person didn't answer, two people did. Not one. If I say wahid means the number one instead of two and three. If I say ma ajab ahadun meaning nobody. There's a difference between wahid and ahad. Nah. I say ma ja'ani ahad, nobody came. That's not like saying ma ja'ani wahid. Ma ja'ani wahid. I was expecting one or two to come. 10 people came. Like ma ja'ani wahid ja'a thalatha. Nasahani abi qabla al-zawaj. Nasahani abi qabla al-zawaj. What does that mean? My father, he's the fa'il. The maf'ul and bi is going to be attached to it. I'm going to ask you again, what is that noon? Nasahani, what is that noon? Lil wiqaya, so that the verb doesn't get a kasra. It's not nasahi abi. No, I can't put a kasra on the verb. Nasahani. Not nasahi. It doesn't look like a verb no more if I say nasahi abi. So I say nasaha, and I need the noon. It's wiqaya, it's protection, so that the verb don't get a kasra. We put the kasra on the noon. Noon it's a noon for protection, so that the verb don't get the kasra. Nasahani abi. Albasahu abuhu. Albasahu abuhu. What does that mean? It's for the clothes. We bought clothing for him. Iyaka na'budu. Afwan, jazakumullah khairan. Jazakumullah khairan. That's a bad habit. Like, why would I skip over Qala Allah Ta'ala? Like, my mind is like, go to the sentence that's not important. That's what's in my head. But it's very important to ayat. So that needs to be, I need to be corrected on that. Like, my mind is like, sentence. I'm like, hold on now. This is not one of them sentences that you wrote. Nasahatu abu. Like, this is an ayat. You know what I'm saying? It's not regular. It's a bad habit. So you have to say, Qala Allah Ta'ala. Iyaka na'budu. Now look. Iyaka. Iyana, you say iyaya. Wa iyana. Wa iyahu. Wa iyaha. Wa iyaka. Wa iyaki. That's if the damir, if it's a maf'ul and bi and it's bad is. And if it's going to be maf'ul and bi, if it's going to be mansubin, it's going to be iyaya. If it's going to be marfu, it's going to be ana, wa huwa, wa anta, wa hiya, wa hum, wa hunna, wa antum, wa antunna. It's going to be marfu. But if it's mansubin, it's going to be iyaka. But this doesn't mean iyaka na'budu. Where's the fa'il? The man mustatir. Where's the verb? We see the verb. So not abada. Is this a fi'l lazim muta'addi? Abada. Na'bud. The fi'l lazim muta'addi. Muta'addi. That's the maf'ul be right there. Iyaka. If you use iyaka, it has to come before the fi'l and the fa'il all the time. No, it has to come. This is our lesson for today. Everything is nothing new here, right? But you're just looking at different angles. There's nothing new. Look at what we're going to do tomorrow. Either udmira al-fa'il wal-maf'ul. If both the fa'il and the maf'ul are pronouns, and then we're going to move on. We're cruising. Anybody scratch their arms today? Anybody bump their head? Anybody bang their toe? Anybody scratch up their knees? Barakallahu feekum. We're cruising. We are cruising. All them days of hard work, I'm on top of you, screaming in your face, poking you in your chest, looking on my nose, all up in your face. I'm screaming at you. Remember those days? That's all over. Until book 3, when I put y'all in the swamp. In the swamp. We're going to stop here. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah increase y'all. So now we're learning more, but now y'all got the basics. Y'all got the basics. Now we're just going to broaden our eyes, broaden our vision on what is inside of a sentence. Different aspects. Tayyib, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Shalom la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.